Alrighty, hi ISD families. This is Mrs. Enzyme from Castle Park. Today we're going to be talking about dividing with decimals. The first strategy that I'm talking about here is if you don't know your times tables quite well yet. Maybe you use a multiplication chart. You just don't have those memorized and you cannot tell which product would be closest to your dividend. In our review video before this strategy I'm showing, we talked about dividend and divisor. And of course, the answer to a division problem is a quotient. And when I refer to product, I'm referring to finding what factor multiplied by 3 gets you closest to the dividend when making a product. So first off, something I will do with every strategy is always round to the nearest whole number and see what the product would be of another factor and my divisor here. So what I mean by that is 3 times what number would get me closest to, okay, looking at this 2, look at this 8 in this ones place. 8 is much closer to 30 than it is, say, 20. It's 2 off versus 8 off. So I'm going to go with 30. So what times 3 gets me 30? And that's 10. So my answer should be somewhere around 10. Or if we were going to round to the nearest whole of our answer, it should round to 10 as well. Or be closer to 10. So looking at it, say it was, 8.3, even though that 3/10 would technically make it stay 8. 8 is still closer to 2 than it is to 0, or 1, or even 5. So that's what I'm going to be looking for in regards to reasonability. So looking at this now, all right, I can almost look at this as 285 times 3. So essentially you can forget about this 0 for a minute. And I know that my answer is going to be somewhere around here. So that's where I'll put my decimal where that will make sense. So let's pretend this is 285. Okay, let's think about friendly numbers. I love 5s because 5s are so easy to count by. 5, 10, 15. So I wonder if I did a 5, and that'd be 15. But since this is 285, let's go ahead and put a 0 here and make it 3 times 50, because that would be 150. So, 3 times 5 is 15. But 3 times 50 is 150. You put that 0 on the end is sort of like the trick there, but that's why, because it's another group of 10, so that place value increases. So now, just like traditional algorithm, I go ahead and subtract that product from my dividend. Okay, I can go ahead and bring that decimal down too, if that helps me, just to remind me that I do need that later. Okay, so this time, 135. Okay, 13 and 5/10. I'm going to look at it as a whole number. I know that 3 times 4 is 12. That's pretty close to 13. So I'm going to do 4, but again, to make it in that hundreds place value. Okay, I'm going to put that 0, so I'm subtracting that. I'm left with 15. I do know from counting by 5s earlier that 3 times 5 is 15. So I'm going to have that. And that gets me the product of 95. And then when I put that back up here, again, it needs to be somewhere close to 10. Okay, so that means to me that that decimal needs to go right there, because that would round to the nearest whole, it would round to 10. Okay, so if you're not super comfortable with your facts yet, I would suggest this strategy, because you don't have to be as specific to it. You don't have to know that 3 times 9 is as close as you can get to 28. You can pick and choose what you do till you can't do anything anymore. So here, okay, since we know that 3 times 5 is 15, okay, that leaves me with nothing. That's why I was done. All right, so if this works for you, okay, go ahead and do some of our practices on your own, trying this strategy. And if you need to go back and watch it, stop it, try one with it, okay, then do that. Maybe even try 28 and 5/10 divided into 3 groups on your own and see how that gets you.